Sergeant, that can't be real. No one's made a shot like that.
It happened, sir. Every variable aligned perfectly.
You know, I still remember that day like it was yesterday walking through the armory at Fort Vanguard. Just another routine inspection, my boots echoing off the concrete floor, and there she was, this quiet figure in the corner, scrubbing down her Barrett .50 cal like it was some kind of sacred ritual, not even looking up as I passed by. But then my eye caught this tiny badge on her uniform, gleaming under the fluorescent lights, and when I leaned in to read it, 3400 meter confirmed kill, I froze right there, heart skipping a beat, thinking, no way, that's got to be a joke or a typo, because in all my years commanding troops, I'd never heard of anyone pulling off a shot like that without it being pure legend or exaggeration. It hit me like a gut punch, shaking everything I thought I knew about what our soldiers could do. And suddenly this ordinary afternoon turned into something that would change how I saw the hidden talents right under my nose. Let me back up a bit. I am General Robert Thompson. Been in the Army for over 3 decades, seen my share of battlefields from dusty deserts to jagged mountains, always priding myself on knowing my people, their strengths, their limits. But that day at Fort Vanguard, our forward base in the middle of nowhere, supporting those shadowy counterinsurgency ops, I realized I didn't know jack about some of the real gems in our ranks. The armory was buzzing as usual, soldiers laughing and griping while they oiled rifles and checked gear, the smell of gun solvent thick in the air, and I was just strolling through with my aide, Major Ellis, chatting about supply logs and training schedules, nothing earth-shattering. Then, tucked away behind a stack of ammo crates, there was Sergeant Elena Reyes, mid-20s maybe, with that focused look like she was solving a puzzle no one else could see, her hands moving with this effortless precision over the massive Barrett M107, yeah, the beast of a sniper rifle that weighs as much as a small child and kicks like a mule, firing those .50 caliber rounds that can punch through engine blocks from a mile out. Elena wasn't the type to stand out in a crowd. She kept to herself, hair pulled back tight under her cap, uniform crisp but unassuming, no bravado or showboating like some of the hotshots I'd commanded. But as I got closer, pretending to inspect the weapon racks, I noticed her badges, not the usual ones everyone wears, but these subtle pins hinting at elite schools, classified units, stuff that made me wonder what kind of path had brought her here. "Carry on, Sergeant," I said, keeping it casual, but she just nodded, eyes flicking up for a second before diving back into her work, and that's when the badge jumped out at me again. 3,400 meters, confirmed kill, like a whisper shouting impossible truths. I stopped cold, Major Ellis bumping into me from behind, and I muttered, "Sergeant, that can't be right. No one's hitting targets at that range, not in real combat, not without some kind of miracle or movie magic." She looked up then, her face calm as a still pond, no defensiveness, just this quiet confidence that made me feel like I was the one out of my depth. "Sir, it was confirmed by spotters and command logs, classified, of course, but it happened just like the badge says." Her voice was steady, almost soft, with that slight southwestern lilt, like she was from New Mexico or Arizona, places where folks grow up staring at endless horizons. Maybe that's where she honed that eagle eye. But me? I was reeling inside out, crashing against curiosity, because I'd overseen sniper teams before, knew the records, the Canadian guy with his 3,540-meter shot in Iraq, but that was with a different rifle, different conditions. And here was this unassuming sergeant claiming something in the same league, maybe beyond. It stirred up this inner conflict I'd buried deep from my early days as a lieutenant when I lost a buddy to a hidden shooter we couldn't reach, that helpless rage at the limits of our gear, our skills, and now, facing Elena, it all bubbled up. Was this real? Or was I about to expose some fraud that could tarnish the unit? I pressed her, couldn't help it, my voice dropping low so the other soldiers wouldn't overhear. "Explain it to me. Reyes, how does a shot like that even work? Most snipers I know call 1,500 meters extreme, and you're talking more than double that." She set down the bolt she was cleaning, wiped her hands on a rag, and leaned back against the workbench, her eyes meeting mine without flinching. "Sir, it's all about the variables: wind shifting at different altitudes, air density playing tricks as the bullet arcs, temperature gradients messing with velocity, not to mention spin drift and the Coriolis effect from the Earth's spin pulling it sideways over that distance." She paused, gauging if I was following, then added with a small smile, like she was sharing a secret recipe. You factor in the target's patterns, range it with lasers and old-school math. Wait for that perfect window when everything aligns. It's not just pulling the trigger. It's like conducting an orchestra where one wrong note ruins the symphony. Her words painted this picture in my head, vivid as a war movie of vast, rugged terrain. Maybe the Afghan hills or some classified hotspot. Elena prone on a ridge, scope dialed in, breathing slow while the world held its breath. But doubt lingered, gnawing at me, because if this was true, why hadn't I heard of her? Was it ego on my part, this old general feeling threatened by a sergeant's quiet prowess, or just the bureaucracy hiding our best assets? Major Ellis pulled up her basic file on his tablet, reading off the highlight stop of her class at sniper school, advanced ballistics courses, stints with Rangers and Spec Ops support, and it all checked out. But the classified parts were locked tight, redacted lines mocking my clearance level. Sir, her record's like a ghost story, elite, but invisible, Ellis whispered, and I nodded, feeling that pull between admiration and skepticism, the conflict building like storm clouds. That's when I pushed further, demanding details on the shot itself, and Elena hesitated, glancing at Ellis like she was weighing OPSEC against my stars. Sir, it was during a high-value target op mountainous area, elevation giving me the drop I needed, target static long enough for setup. Weather cooperated, low wind, crystal visibility. I spent hours monitoring, calculating, adjusting for every whisper of change. Her voice trailed off, and I could see the memory flashing in her eyes, that intense focus mixed with the weight of what a kill like that means, not just technically, but personally. The isolation of the sniper's world, where you're god and executioner from afar, no face-to-face, just cold precision and the aftermath echoing in your soul. But I wasn't letting go. This was my hook, my obsession now, and I said, Reyes, I need to see it set up a demo. Show me what you're made of. She blinked, surprised, but recovered quick. Sir, demos take prep range safety, approvals, but if you insist, we start small, say 1,200 meters, build from there. 2 days later, the range at Fort Vanguard was cleared, sun beating down on the dusty field, targets set way out where they looked like specks to the naked eye. My staff gathered, buzzing with whispers word had leaked, turning this into a spectacle, and Elena arrived with her gear, methodically unpacking the Barrett, optics that could spot a fly on a wall from forever away, wind gauges, ballistic apps on a rugged tablet. I watched her inner world unfold, that quiet intensity, perhaps born from a tough upbringing, maybe losing family young and channeling grief into unyielding discipline, or just a natural gift amplified by relentless training. Walk me through it, I said, binoculars in hand. And she did, voice steady but with this undercurrent of passion, measuring wind layers. Sir, inputting data, compensating for drop bullets in flight for seconds at this range, plenty of time for the world to interfere. The shot cracked like thunder, recoil jolting her shoulder, and the spotter called it dead center, a hole punched clean through the target's heart. My staff erupted in murmurs, but I felt this shift inside, doubt cracking under the weight of proof, replaced by awe and a touch of envy for her calm mastery. Impressive, Sergeant, but triple the distance? How? She smiled faintly, wiping sweat from her brow. Same principles, sir, just more variables, more patience. It's about trusting the math, the moment. And yourself. That hit home, stirring my own regrets from past ops where impatience cost lives. And suddenly this wasn't just about her skill. It was a mirror to my leadership flaws, the times I'd overlooked quiet talents for louder egos. But the real turning point came when I dug deeper, pulling strings to access her full file, weeks of calls to brass higher up, navigating the red tape that guards our shadows. What I uncovered floored me. Elena recruited straight out of basic for her freakish accuracy, trained in black budget programs pushing human limits, deployments in hot zones where her shots turned tides, that 3,400-meter kill during a botched extraction, enemy warlord hold up with civilians, no way for ground teams to approach without carnage, so she set up on a distant peak, waded through a sandstorm fading, calculated every gust, and fired once, ending the threat clean, saving who knows how many. Her motives were pure duty, protection, but with this haunted edge, like each kill chipped at her soul. Yet she pressed on, driven by a personal vow from her first tour, maybe avenging a fallen mentor, that depth making her more than a marksman, a guardian angel with a rifle. General Amelia Hayes briefed me personally, her voice grave over the secure line. Thompson, you found one of our aces. Reyes isn't just a sniper. She's a strategic weapon, deployed where failure means catastrophe. It clicked. Then the conflict wasn't just my doubt. It was the system's secrecy, hiding heroes to preserve edges. But at what cost to them? Elena's quiet life at Vanguard was no accident. It was recharge time between shadows. But I wondered if it isolated her, bred resentment from peers who saw her as aloof, or envy from those chasing glory she shunned. Months rolled on, and Elena shipped out again, some classified hellhole needing her edge, succeeding because of that blend of tech and tenacity. Me? I started looking closer at my troops, spotting hidden potentials, but it left me pondering the ethics. Is it right to wield such power from afar, godlike detachment in war's chaos? Does it save lives, or just distance us from the horror? And what about the unsung ones like Elena, carrying burdens alone? If this story resonates, hit that like button, subscribe for more real tales from the front, and drop a comment. Was I wrong to doubt at first, or is skepticism part of command? Share your thoughts on hidden talents in uniform, the moral gray of long-range